Submarines are specially designed to operate underwater. Their construction is very different and unique compared to other vessels. The submarine's design consists of two main parts, one being its hull and the other being its internal structure. The hull is the outer layer of the submarine, which acts as a shell. The interior structure of the submarine comprises machinery, advanced equipment, and spaces for the crew members. The hull of the submarine provides buoyancy and protects the internal structure of the submarine from the external environment. They're usually made from heavy materials like steel, which is strong and durable. However, as time has evolved, modern submarine hulls are now made using carbon fiber and titanium. These materials are strong, lightweight, and corrosion-resistant, proving to be an ideal choice of material to use in submarines. Using these lightweight materials, modern submarines are now capable of sinking down to deeper depths, increasing their maneuverability and also improving their stealth. One of the most frightening scenarios you can imagine yourself in is being in a submarine that is sinking in the depths of the sea uncontrollably. You probably know that after reaching a certain depth, the vessel would implode. But what happens during an implosion? The further you go, the deeper you dive into the ocean, the more water pressure is exerted on the submarine from each side, and it can exceed the strength of the submarine's hull. This water pressure can be several times greater than the atmospheric pressures inside the vessels. This pressure difference can cause the hull of the submarine to collapse inwards, crushing and destroying the crew and all the equipment inside. Submarines, often acclaimed for their secrecy and sheer technological prowess, carry with them an intrinsic danger when submerged in the deep depths of the ocean. Picture this scenario. You're on a submarine, navigating the eerie silence of the ocean's murky depths. All of a sudden, there's an unexpected jolt as the vessel begins to descend uncontrollably, dropping like a rock. As it sinks further into the dark, murky depths, you quickly realize it's reaching its crush depth, the limit beyond which the sheer weight of the water overwhelms the submarine's hull. The immense water pressure at these depths becomes a massive lethal force of nature, exerting several times more force than the vessel can withstand. This pressure imbalance causes the submarine's hull to implode, collapsing inward on itself and crushing everything inside. Submarine implosions, while rare, can arise due to various factors such as design flaws, human error, or external conditions. The catastrophic violent implications are unimaginable. The ARA San Juan's chilling incident exemplifies this. Understanding the depth of implosion from hydroacoustic signals, scientists calculated its collapse at a staggering 1,275 feet. What's truly haunting is the sheer speed of these events. While the crew might know of the risk, the implosion occurs within milliseconds, far too rapid for anyone to register pain or comprehend the tragedy. In these moments, lives are tragically lost in an environment that remains forever silent about its horrors. Despite submarine implosions being fairly unusual, there are a number of factors that can contribute to a submarine being imploded, including design flaws, human error, or external factors. That said, you'll be shocked when you learn what happens when a submarine or any submersible vessel reaches its maximum operating depth, known as its crush depth. How is it possible to estimate the depth of a submarine implosion based on its sound? Why are there very few chances that the bodies of a crew in the sunken submarine can be recovered? And why has no one ever experienced a real-time implosion? In addition to the technology used to estimate implosion depths, our understanding of how implosions affect the surrounding marine environment has advanced. Studies show that submarine implosions generate massive shock waves that travel through water, causing damage to nearby marine ecosystems. The immense pressure released from an implosion can lead to temporary alterations in water chemistry and disrupt natural underwater habitats, affecting marine life in the vicinity. Furthermore, these powerful shock waves can trigger underwater landslides and potentially lead to the formation of large craters on the ocean floor, impacting geological structures and even altering the topography of the seabed. The debris scattered as a result of the implosion can become hazardous for marine navigation and infrastructure, adding to the environmental consequences. In 2017, the Argentinian submarine ARA San Juan vanished a few hundred miles off of the coast of Argentina. A week later, a report published by the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty Organization claimed that they had detected a hydroacoustic anomaly about 30 nautical miles north of the vessel's last known location. The anomaly had happened a few hours after the submarine's last contact. Due to this, an assumption was made that the signal had been produced because the pressure hull of the ARA San Juan had collapsed. In the report, the depth of the submarine hull's collapse was also stated, which raised the question of how can the crew members figure out the depth of the implosion, even though the implosion occurred long before hitting the bottom of the ocean, and how can they hear the noise that it makes? A submarine implosion can be extremely loud. Reports indicate that the sound of a submarine imploding can reach up to 250 decibels. That's louder than anything you've ever heard in your entire lifetime. For comparison, a jet engine, while it initiates takeoff, its sound is around 140 decibels. During an underwater implosion, the gas bubble that is inside the structure oscillates, collapsing and expanding continuously before it dissolves. This is known as the bubble pulse effect. The frequency of the pulse can be measured, and the volume of the air inside the submarine is known. This makes it easier to calculate the depth of the collapse. In the case of the San Juan, the bubble pulse frequency was about 4.4 Hz, and the depth of the implosion was calculated to be at 1,273 feet underwater. This derived value of the depth can be used to determine the energy required to produce the hydroacoustic signal that was detected. The San Juan's collapse released energy equal to 12,500 pounds of TNT. The surrounding water pressure was 570 psi, and the submarine hull would have collapsed at a staggering speed of over 1,500 miles per hour. As terrifying as this sounds, no one has ever actually experienced it. No doubt many have tragically lost their lives in such accidents, but none of them have had a chance or time to comprehend it. The human brain takes anywhere from 100 milliseconds to 2 seconds to experience any sort of pain. That's because there's a delay for the sensation to reach the brain, and also a delay for the brain to perceive it. Pain, which is dull like stubbing your toe, takes around 1 second to hit your brain, and with a sharper pain like burning your hand, it could be a lot faster in terms of milliseconds. It was estimated that the hull of the San Juan completely collapsed in less than 40 milliseconds, which is less than half the time for anyone on the submarine to consciously feel anything, even pain. Even though their crew members would be aware that the submarine could implode, they would never experience it occurring. They would be dead instantly. Here one moment, gone the next. As far as the bodies of the crew members are concerned, they're unlikely to ever be recovered. The submarine's collapse has some similarities to a diesel engine, in which the piston compresses the air and the diesel fuel together really quickly. The extreme pressure causes the diesel fuel to auto-ignite in the engine. Similarly, the air inside a vessel could have high concentrations of hydrocarbon vapors, things like hydraulic oil, grease, oil from the auxiliary diesel engine, and rubber sublime to make their way into the submarine atmosphere. When the hull collapses, it acts like a very large piston on a very large diesel engine. The air auto-ignites, and even if it doesn't, the sheer force of the compression would make it extremely hot. The force of the implosion followed by the bubble pulse effect would not leave any bodies behind that could be recovered. There have been some instances where people have made it out of a sunken submarine alive. For depths up to 600 feet, specialized submarine escape immersion equipment is worn, which helps protect the crew members while swimming out of a torpedo tube or using an escape hatch. The ascending process from 600 feet below could take 3 to 4 minutes, but the trauma of this experience involving panic and rupturing of eardrums can affect a person for their entire life. But for depths where swimsuits are not capable of helping, your only hope would be a rescue submergence vehicle like the Russian Priz-class vessel. This is a titanium-hulled vessel that can rescue up to 16 people at a time from a depth of up to 3,200 feet below the sea. Some submarines, like the Russian Typhoon-class submarine, are manufactured with an escape pod, but their reliability in real-time emergencies have been questionable. A rescue mission of the Russian Kursk nuclear submarine involves several submergence rescue vehicles, but unfortunately, the mission failed due to the incapability of the Prince to dock onto the stranded submarine. In May 1939, the USS Squalus on her 19th test dive submerged. However, due to a malfunction, the main air indication valve opened when the vessel was 60 feet underwater. This caused the flooding of the engine room and the torpedo tube. The members who were in the sealed compartments had enough air to breathe for almost 48 hours at best. Cut off from outside communication, a buoy was released from the deck with a telephone attached to it in hopes that the rescue team would come across it. From that point onwards, the only thing they could do was to wait and keep calm. At the time, no rescue attempt on a submarine had been successful beneath 40 feet. The crew of the Squalus were sitting on the ocean floor, approximately 250 feet below the surface. The boat, Sculpin, spotted the buoy, and the two commanders were able to communicate until the ocean swell caused the line to snap. No more exchange of words was possible. In the next 24 hours, rescue ships arrived and deployed a new experimental device. It was a rescue bell. A diver had to first get ready and descend to carry a downhaul cable. Once the cable was connected to the vessel, the bell was lowered into the water and then placed exactly on top of the hatch of the sunken submarine. Stranded on the bottom of the ocean, the crew of the USS Squalus were happily thrilled to greet the rescuers. 7 sailors climbed into the bell and were brought up to the surface. 3 more trips had to be completed before all 33 men were rescued. The U.S. Navy spent 113 days investigating the submarine itself. There were bodies in the vessel which were to be recovered. They planned to raise the submarine from the ocean floor and bring it back to port. After several tries, the USS Squalus was sent back to the port on September 13, 1939. 25 bodies were recovered from the wreckage, but one victim's body was never found. In less than a year, the Squalus was recommissioned after being repaired. It was renamed the USS Sailfish, which served during World War II. The crew was prohibited from uttering the word Squalus while being on board the Sailfish. In 1945, the Sailfish was decommissioned and its conning tower was cut away and placed in a park at the Portsmouth Naval Shipyard, where memorable ceremonies are conducted in May of each year. Another case of an implosion that has caught the attention of people all over the world was the implosion of the Titan submersible. On the 18th of June 2023, a submersible named Titan, which was operated by an American tourism company by the name of OceanGate, was launched in search of the Titanic. Titan was a 5-person submersible vessel. It was 22 feet long and weighed about 23,000 pounds. Its entire body was made from carbon fiber and titanium. The submersible was carrying 5 passengers, which included 3 tourists, a pilot, and also a scientist. A massive search and rescue effort was sparked in the North Atlantic. Naval experts and rescue teams were racing to locate the missing sub. The U.S. Navy stated that it detected sounds which are consistent with an implosion after the sub had lost contact. The noises were believed to be about 3,000 meters or 12,467 feet below sea level. The vessel was so deep inside water that the pressure on it would be equivalent to the weight of 2 Eiffel Towers. The vessel, Titan, was made to withstand such pressure, and in order to do so and withstand the external water pressure, the submarine's hull was designed with thick and strong hulls. Unfortunately, due to a malfunction, it couldn't bear the pressure, and maritime experts are eager to determine what this malfunction was. All 5 members on board the Titan submersible were tragically lost. Submarine implosion not only poses a risk to human life, but it can also have significant effects on the ocean floor. The implosion produces a shock wave that travels through water and causes massive damage to the surrounding areas. It can create craters and even trigger some certain underwater landslides. The debris that's left behind because of the implosion can also cause a significant amount of damage to the ocean floor, as large pieces of the vessel can separate, such as the hull or the equipment, and can scatter across the ocean floor. This can cause an impact and create obstacles for marine life, and can also become a danger to underwater infrastructure like internet and communication cables, pipelines, oil rigs, etc. Natural habitats of aquatic animals can also be bothered by the debris field that's left behind and can be a hazard as it can entangle or trap these animals. The ocean floor is a very fierce and unforgiving environment, and the effects of a shockwave formed by an implosion can be long-lasting. There are various ways of preventing submarine implosions. Submarines are designed with safety systems like reinforced hulls, and strict operating procedures are often put in place. When it comes to submarine implosions, safety protocols are of utmost priority to ensure the well-being of the crew members. These safety protocols are designed to minimize any damage that could be caused by a potential implosion. The most important of these protocols is the pressure chamber. The pressure chamber is used to simulate the high-pressure conditions that the crew on board might experience during an implosion. This buys the crew time and allows them to become acclimated and learn to react in such situations. Life support is also crucial when a situation like submarine implosions occur. Submarines are equipped with advanced life support systems that are able to provide oxygen and other necessities which are required to survive the situation. All of these systems are designed to function in extreme conditions. In the event of an implosion, rescue vehicles and equipment also play a vital role in saving the lives of the crew members. These rescue vehicles and equipment are specially designed to quickly and safely recover those who may be injured or trapped in a particularly dangerous situation. Regular maintenance and inspections to check that the submarine is in good and working condition is a very important precaution to take care of. Highly trained and skilled workers are hired to check for maintenance issues, defects, or any equipment failures and fix them as soon as they detect them so that no stone is left unturned concerning the safety of the crew members themselves. These life-saving resources and equipment drastically increase the chances of survival for crew members who happen to be the victims of a disaster, such as a pending submarine implosion. If you enjoyed this video, please show us your support by pressing the like button and subscribing to our channel. Your support means a lot to us and keeps us motivated to make more content that you'll find enjoyable. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you in our next video.